Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes. We're also known for our great weather. This may leave some wondering, what the heck do they do for 5.5 months out of the year? Well, you can get out on the lake for ice fishing, or even find your feet under you to snowboard or ski. Embracing the winters is easy. The 2023-24 winter left a lot to be desired, though. Warm temperatures well into December resulted in pathetic snow cover and a shorter ice fishing season. Naturally, Minnesotans embraced the tropical change, and what better way than to jump right in. These activities are fun. Take my word for it if you'd rather stay warm and dry. There is a lesser known winter activity though that is more intertwined with the season than the others, the Snow Snake Games.
Jashigid noting indigenous cause. Bob Shimek Ijnakazayan Naganashi Jaganashi Moen. Some people call me Jashigid Noting, others call me Bob Shimek.
Bob told the legend of the snow snake to a class called People of the Environment. This class had gone through the process of making their own snow snakes. I asked Bob about the process, about when to get started on making the snow snakes and when to throw them in the winter.
Because of the way I work with them, you know, I try and get started in November because over the course of a year, you know, I might engage 450 people all making snow snakes.
While Bob wasn't overseeing the operation, Erica Bailey Johnson of Bemidji State University took the class through the process of making the snow snake.
So the snow snake experience, I have watched my husband actually. He was a teacher for 19 years at Cass Lake Bena schools. He taught 8th grade earth science. And I watched him for probably 10, 15 years do this snow snake experience with his students. And I just thought it sounded like fun. There's a lot of things that kind of came together to be able to do this activity in my own classroom. One was that my husband isn't teaching anymore at Cass Lake Bena schools, so he had some time to help me. And then the second part was that I had more time in my own class to be able to put it within the structure of the syllabus. So I was able to take the time that was needed, which is about 2-3 weeks of different activities that we needed to do in order to, you know, get the snake and prepare it and then to be able to do like an activity with it. So it took quite a bit of time and I was just able to do all that this semester. And I think partially I was really motivated because this is my last semester teaching people of the environment. So I have always admired this project and always felt like it was a really good connection to place, to culture, to kind of learning a whole different way of thinking about like games even, thinking about like, you know, what are the ways that people for hundreds, thousands of years have gotten through the winter because it can be long and depressing, but learning about these games I feel like is such a cool connection to this place that we're all living in, you know, and experiencing the winter.
After collecting their branches, the materials that will soon become snow snakes, students offer tobacco in exchange for the materials. After this collection, students debarked and peeled their branches. Once the branches were peeled, exposed wood grain was left behind. Sanding was the next step, smoothing out the snow snakes. Throughout this process of making snow snakes, Professor Erica Bailey Johnson made sure students kept an open and peaceful mind.
I have been told by many elders and Indigenous, brothers and sisters that it's really important in almost every activity that we do, especially if we're making, like if we're creating, that we come with good intentions, a good heart, a good mind, like a clear mind. So honestly, like a lot of people before they start like beading work for regalia, they will smudge, to make sure they're like in a good place. I know I had a big beading project that I did one time, and I always made sure that I was always like, I wasn't crabby about something. I wasn't angry at someone, and that wasn't the thing that was on my mind while I was beading.
Doing like the painting, I was thinking about like the environment and how beautiful it is, and just kind of the overall like open-mindedness of it. I was trying to keep the thoughts of like, oh, this isn't perfect, I'm not sanding it right, and then I'm just like, nope, it's perfect how it is. It's gonna turn out really well, and it did. I'm proud of how it turned out. Like you get like a personal value to this. Where it's like it's your own creation, and it's like it's close to you, and then it's like a little bit of you, really.
While snow snakes are artistically and culturally important, keeping a positive mind also made this process therapeutic. Designs were painted onto the snow snakes next. Some flow with the grains, and others are decorated evenly. Some even aspire to live.
To cut and peel and smooth a snake out doesn't take that long. But when you start painting and decorating, you gotta put a layer on and let it dry, and put a layer on and let it dry, and that's what takes. Each one of those steps doesn't take a lot of time, but it's the waiting, for the paints to get hard. So, the whole process working with that many people can get spread out over quite a number of weeks. So it's usually mid to late February when we start actually having the games, tournaments, etc. A lot of times into the first, even the second weekend of March. So there's about a month there when there's a lot of games and tournaments going on different places.
After a finish is applied, it's time to throw. There are a handful of games, and these are endlessly customizable. There's a distance throw, a target throw, and a hoop throw, where a hoop is rolled while the snow snake is thrown. The objective of this is to make the snake go through the hoop. This is representative to the circle of life and giving thanks. This is where themes of the legend of the snow snake come back.
Family, community, and the land. And, I should clarify that because, all that's tied to Ojibwe values, customs, traditions, which is quite a bit different than the way we live today, or that many of us live. So, to fully understand that, you gotta kind of immerse yourself in a different way of thinking about relationships. And how do we take care of and nurture and, sustain those relationships? How do we use these kinds of tools, these kinds of games to build upon the commonwealth, the common health of the people, the land? That's all in there. So, there's a lot of moving pieces in there. When you start taking that legend apart, when she talks about, that Chiganabik, that giant one. It's like you take care of that one, make that one feel good, feel happy, and we have a expression, a lot of people say miigwech is an expression of thank you, and that's not what that word means, but it's kind of morphed into that these days. But there's another one, it's an old time expression that goes beyond gratitude, beyond Thanksgiving. We say Gimanakwanin. You know, when you say thank you to somebody, you're usually thanking them for something that they've done for you or something that they've given you. Gimanakwanin acknowledges that relationship that you know, when somebody does something good for you, you want to reciprocate to that one in an equal manner. That's Gimanakwanin. So I think, you know, at the core of all this legend, this story, all these different things, there's that kind of expression that articulates the nature, the substance, and the depth of a relationship. Okay? Goes far, far, far beyond thank you. Way beyond that. I think that's kind of, in a lot of ways, you know, what Wanakwe is getting at in that legend is, you know, you have these gifts. You have these gifts now to help you. You know, so you reciprocate in a kind of a equal manner. And part of that is taking care of those new gifts, those relationships.
So, while staying entertained in the winter is important, it's also important to give back to family, community, and the land, and give thanks for what they bring you, especially in times harsher than a Minnesota winter.